Bonjour! Alright, this is a makeup tutorial on the look that I have right here. This is my full face tutorial of whenever I'm getting ready and I'm going out, or just when I'm feeling a little extra that day. I showed you guys the products that I use, the brushes that I use, beauty blenders, the whole nine. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to leave them in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and it is helpful to you. All right, so we're just going to jump right into this. I am first prepping my skin with some Rejuvenique oil. I just now applied that all throughout my face after I washed it. And now I'm going to use a little bit of my No Problem primer. This is from the brand Touch and Soul. I love the way that it fills in my pores, so I'm going to just apply it in more so my T-zone. This is gonna give me that smooth base for all of my products to lay on top. Okay, so I am going in first with the Maybelline 24-Hour Stay Foundation. I use shade 115 in this. I'm using the Jaclyn Hill. I'm pretty sure this is the JH03 to just rub, or to blend this all into my skin. So personally, I like to use a brush versus a beauty blender just because a brush is going to move around the product a little better and it's not going to suck any of it up. I love using a beauty blender for pretty much like everything else, but just for my foundation, I love to use a brush. Okay, so as you can see, just the difference in my face. This side has foundation on, this side does not. Okay, so now that our base is completely smooth and just even, we're gonna go in with our eyebrows. So I'm going to use the little brush from the Cabral by Benefit. I just love this brush. I think it's perfect for doing my brows. And then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. This is in the shade Medium Brown. I use the tiniest amount, which is the reason why I love this little brush. So I'm gonna go in with this and I'm just going to line underneath first, and then you guys will kind of see. And brows are on. This is my natural shape and I just pretty much filled it in, underlined to the bottom, and then I went on top and just kind of filled in the rest. So that is how I do my brows for now. Okay, so next to clean up my brows, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. concealer. This is the hydrating camo concealer. I swear this is a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. I love this. So all I do is I take a little tiny detail brush like that, and I am going to just take the smallest amount of this on my brush and just line underneath my brows and get a little bit on top as well. Next, I like to blend out the concealer that I use to carve out my brows with a little brush that's just like this. Okay, brows are clean and cut. We are now going to go even out this base for eyeshadow. So I personally love the Age Rewind Concealer to do this. I'm just going to take tiniest little dabs and then use my beauty blender. This is a wet beauty blender to blend this out. Okay, so my everyday setting powder is just the Coty Airspun. You can find this at Walmart or at Target. It's like $5. This will last you so long. So this is the one that I typically go with if I'm ever going anywhere that I'm taking photos or I need a good just translucent powder. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier one. So this is just my favorite whenever I know that I'm going to be taking photos, if I'm taking content that day or something like that. But since today I'm just literally going to go work at a coffee shop with some of my girls, I'm gonna use the Coty Airspun just translucent powder. So I just take a little bit, pour it into the cap just like this. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and use this to set my eyes. So just to check and make sure that any of your cream products are not tacky anymore, if I were to go in with powder on top of sticky concealer or foundation, it's just going to make it skip. So I like to make sure that it's completely smooth and just perfect. Okay, so just to prep my under eyes before I go in with concealer, I love to use a color corrector. So this one's specifically from Becca. I love the one from NYX. There's a couple from Sephora. There's a bunch that are out there. This is just the one that I personally like. So I take the smallest little amount. So this color corrector is going to correct any dark circles that I might have and any veins maybe that are poking through. And this will really allow my concealer to just go on and just wipe away any of that. Okay, so I'm taking the e.l.f. concealer once again, and I'm just going to pretty much, I don't do this in any particular way. I just do it like that. I take my beauty blender and I go in and I just blend away. I'm going to set one eye at a time just so that this does not crease. So I'm taking that translucent powder and I'm going to make sure that I'm stamping it into my skin so that you don't get any little lines underneath your eyes. Now we have a really smooth under eye. You can tell the difference between this side and this side, and that color corrector, it definitely makes a difference. Just so you guys know, I used to use a lot less concealer. I just have upped it over time, and now this is where we're at, and I just love doing it. So I don't know what to tell you. I take a little bit of concealer on the chin and just a tiny bit on my forehead. And once again, blending it with that beauty blender. I'm going to set that, and then I'm also going to set the rest of my face with this same translucent powder. Okay, so I'm checking my face just to make sure that it's not still tacky. Now I'm going to go in with my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a mix of these two bronzers. These are both from the Drugstore. This is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula and the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Glow. I'm going to take a fluffy brush just like this, and then I'm going to pretty much follow a shape of a 3 on my face. Where you place your bronzer is really going to matter when it's coming to actually like creating that shape and structure on your face. So I personally like to take my bronzer up a little bit higher just to give me that more lifted look. Okay, and I always take a little bit of my bronzer and I just run it on my nose. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with my blush. Blush is one of my favorite parts of doing my makeup. I like to use a little bit paler shades, so I'm going to go in with Sweet from this palette and then Goals, just a little bit there. I personally love to focus my blush a little bit higher up on my cheekbones just to, like I said, give me that more lifted look. So I'm going to kind of almost blend it in with that bronzer and then a little bit above, and then I'm going to sweep it forward. And a little bit for the nose. Okay, so for any day that I'm looking to just cut those cheekbones a little bit more, I'm gonna go in with, this is the Kat Von D Contour Shade and Light palette. I'm going to use a little dab of the first shade and then a little bit of the second on a smaller detailed brush. And I'm just going to go and like chisel out that cheekbone. Very, very lightly. Okay, so now I'm going to bake my contour, my bronzer, my highlight, all that good stuff. I'm going to take a little bit of the Coty Airspun once again, and I'm taking my beauty sponge and I'm making it really, really skinny, as skinny as I can get it, like this. And I'm going to pinch it to make it more of a line like that. And this is where I'm just going to cut that bronzer shade. Okay, so while this is baking, I'm gonna go in just with my eyeshadow. I stamped a little bit underneath my eyes just to keep them bright. We're going to wipe all of this away in just a second, so don't be too scared. This is just what's going to make your makeup look very clean. Like when you look at a girl and you're like, oh my gosh, that girl's makeup is just like cut. This is from that, so, or this is how you get it. Okay, so one of my favorite palettes ever is the Jaclyn Hill palette x Morphe. I love this one. It just has so many different shades and you can do so many different looks with this palette. So I am going to go in with this first. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade right here. They don't have shade names on here. This is like her OG palette. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just taking this on a more fluffy blender brush. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to blend it. I'm gonna start on that outer corner, going to brush it out just a tad, and then I'm going to just blend it up into that crease. I do windshield wiper motion, so it's literally just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The blend, when it comes to your eyeshadow, when it comes to your contour, your bronzer, anything that you're ever like just putting a lot of pigment down, you wanna make sure that you're taking the time to blend it. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that same shade and just go in one more time and just add another layer of just eyeshadow. Okay, so now that we've just got one color down, I'm going to take that same exact shade and I'm gonna take it on a little teeny tiny brush. I'm just gonna go underneath my eyes and just smoke out that lower lash line. Okay, so I just want to keep this look super simple, so I'm probably just going to go in with like one or two more shades just to keep it as low maintenance as possible. This is typically what I do whenever I'm doing my makeup, so I'm going to just go in with a little bit of a smaller brush just like this, and I am going to take a little bit of, let's do a dab of this shade right here, kind of a deeper maroon shade. I'm going to make sure I get any excess off. And the darker the shade, the more that you want to be precise about where you're putting it. So I am going to make sure that I am setting it right in that outer corner of my eye. And I'm doing this so lightly. This is very, very light-handed. You can go in with that bigger brush that we used before, and I'm just going to make sure this is all blending together nicely. So I'm just gonna take this, there's nothing on it except for the pigment from before, but I'm just going to blend it all through. Okay, I'm gonna take that exact same shade on the same exact brush, and I'm just gonna take the smallest, tiniest amount and just go underneath my eyes and smoke out that bottom lash line. Okay, so they are matching, the eyes are coming together. I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and I'm just gonna take it on my finger, and I'm going to go and just place this on my lid. Okay, so as you can see, there's a very like definitive line of where my shimmer shade stops and the matte shades like starts. So I'm going to just take this brush and I'm just going to blend that in right there, just to make sure that there is no harsh lines in that crease. This is just how I personally like to do my shimmer shades, and I just like to take it about like halfway, and that's just what I like. Okay, next up is lashes mascara, and I'm gonna curl my lashes first. So I'm going to curl them, and then I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black mascara. This is my favorite mascara for length and just definition in my lashes. Okay, now I'm going to just take a fluffy brush and wipe away this bank. Okay, my go-to highlight combo is right here. This is the Pure Nude by Essence. This is just like a highlighter. This is like $3 at Ulta, and it's just amazing. It gives your skin a natural glow from within. And then I love this ColourPop highlight in the shade Flexitarian, just to help with the super extra highlight. This is what I love for that like day that I'm trying to get that beaming glow. So I'm taking a little brush from Jaclyn Hill. This is the Jaclyn Hill 09 brush. I'm going to just like take a little bit of this, and I always spray before I put on my highlight. I spray my brush with water, and this is just to activate that highlight, that pigment a little bit more, and just give you some more shimmer. I do a little bit on the bridge of my nose, above my brows, on the Cupid's bow. And a lot of people would probably stop here after this highlight, but I just love the extra glow. So I'm gonna go in, like I said, with that Flexitarian and spray this as well. Now you see that super metallic highlight. That's what I'm after. Okay, I'm taking that same highlight on a small, teeny tiny brush. I'm gonna go for my Cupid's bow, highlight my inner corner, and then I'm also gonna do my brow bone. Okay, I'm gonna go in with another coat of mascara. Okay, and since we are here and we're doing my makeup, I'm just gonna do my infamous wing. I always do a wing. I love doing a wing. I have been doing this for literally over since 6th grade, since I was 12 or so long time. I'm just gonna go in with the NYX. This is the vinyl liner. I love this one, and I also love the matte one as well. This is just a really, really defined brush, just like that. So I'm going to attempt to show you guys this as closely as I can. Okay, so the wings are done. We've got eyeshadow done, everything check. Now I'm gonna go in for my lip combo. I'm going to take this teeny tiny little brush, and this is that hack that I showed you guys in my first vlog. I am just taking a teeny tiny amount of bronzer, and I'm just going underneath my lip line, like underneath where my lips, like, you guys will see. And that's just what's gonna give you that more full lip look. Also, just really quick to set my brows, I'm just going in with the Wow Brow from e.l.f. Okay, for lips today, I'm gonna keep it super duper simple. I'm just gonna line my lips with a lip liner. This is from Steve Laurent. This is from like a random BoxyCharm box that I got, but it's just a good nude shade. It almost looks just like my lip color. So I'm just going to line my lips with this. And then lastly, for my lips, I'm just gonna go in with my favorite lip plumper. This is from LA Girl, and this just gives my lips just like a little bit of plump, a little bit of glow. I love it. Okay, so that's the finished makeup look. I'm gonna go do my hair, and I'm gonna come back and close this out. Okay, so this is the finished look. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming it. I know that there's probably so many different things that are coming for this channel, and it is just so insanely surreal for me to sit down and film my first makeup tutorial, and I'm just so grateful that I have you guys watching. So thank you so much. Like I said, leave any comments in the bottom, ask me any questions that you guys have, and I will see you guys in my next video. Au revoir.